So I want to start this video by going way back to middle school when I realized I wanted to own a business for the rest of my life. So I remember I was in 5th grade. I was in the lunch line in middle school. They only served milk and water bottles for the drinks, right? So I was like, how can I make money off the fact that we only serve milk and water for the drinks? So I remember the next time I went with my mom to the grocery store, I found like those powders that you put into your water to make them have different flavors. More like for electrolytes now, but back then they used to be very popular. Like you could get like the Fanta flavored powders, put it in your water, and then it'll taste like a purple Fanta flavored water. So I remember I went with my mom to the grocery store. I bought a couple boxes of those. Those cost like $2 each for one box. The next week I went to school. I sold each packet of powder for like $1 each. And obviously I wasn't making a lot of money. If I was able to find an opportunity like that and make money, I could definitely do more. So then I saw on YouTube there was this guy named Candy Cartel, and he used to sell candy at school. So I was like, maybe I should just expand my business from the powders, the drinking powders, and expand it into actual candy and different types of snacks. And this is where it got really good. This is where I started to make like actual money, and this was literally still in middle school. I remember buying a bunch of snacks at Walmart. You could buy, they even had like snack boxes where you could get like Starburst, Snickers, Milky Ways all in one pack. My mom was literally paying for all this stuff. Like I would just convince her just to get it for me, and then eventually I just paid her back. But she just willingly paid for all my first products, so it was kind of cool that all of the money that I was making was just pure profit at first. I bought all that candy, and then I went to school and I pulled out my backpack and I just started selling as normal. And the sales went crazy because I went to a small private Catholic school, so like they didn't have like vending machines like that. When you hear a private school, you probably think it's like a really rich school, but it was actually the opposite. It was in a very like poor area, so I was getting a pretty good amount of sales, even from people in other grades would buy from me. And I remember I had this one teacher who let me set up my own snack shop in their classroom, and that's when everything went crazy. It got to the point where I had my own shop. I'd bring out a bunch of snacks. We had these crates that we would put like our books in. We had a bunch of extra laying around, so I would get a table like just this, and he would only let me set up the shop when we were doing like our quote unquote reading time. So that'd be towards like the end of class. So I would set up my shop. I'll just grab a random desk and I'll put like a bunch of different crates in the back for my stock. And when I tell you I used to bring a bunch of candy to school, I brought like a bunch of Oreos, a bunch of candy bars, chips. I think I even bought drinks too, but I don't even think they're cold. I think some people were just buying like these like almost warm Gatorades. It was actually crazy to me. And then I remember I set up the shop. I was running the shop for myself the first day, and then the next day, like this actually might sound so far-fetched to people, the fact that I was literally just in 5th grade, I had hired employees. Now obviously I wasn't paying them hourly or anything like that. I would literally just pay them like $5 just to take care of the shop, and they could keep some profit after too. I would do something like that, just make a deal with them. And I remember this is like the one time I remember that I had a moment where it might have sounded crazy. I was literally just in 5th grade, but I had a moment where I was like, wow, imagine doing this on a way bigger scale with an actual business. And I just remember sitting back at my desk watching those. I had hired like 2 different employees selling candy for me, and I was in 5th grade. And I remember the line was packed. We had the whole class lined up to buy candy from us. In that moment I was like, yeah, business is something I'm gonna need to do for the rest of my life, and this is for me. So ever since that moment, I just started getting way into more entrepreneurship, learning about marketing, learning about sales, watching YouTube videos every night, staying up to like 12 a.m. Back then that was really late for me when I was in middle school. Just watching a bunch of content. I was watching like Jordan Welch. I was just consuming a bunch of content, anything related to business. And then, so obviously the title of this video is I failed 10 businesses, but does the candy business really fail? I'm not sure. I just think I moved on, and I was like, obviously it's just a candy business. I'm probably not gonna be able to scale this much. And then I just stopped doing it and got into more real things. And that's what I'm gonna talk about, the next businesses that I failed into my journey. Okay, so the next business I'm gonna be talking about is bin cleaning. I've actually started this business twice in my journey before. And if you don't know what bin cleaning is, it's literally like those big black garbage bins that you have in the green ones in your garage or wherever you keep them. And the garbage trucks come to dump them. And so what we used to do, we used to offer to clean those bins for people in my neighborhood. and it was actually a very lucrative service. Like, it wasn't a very popular service back then. Now in 2025, there's definitely way more traction on bin cleaning and that business model in general. I literally just used to have my mom post that I'm doing I'll clean your bin for like 20 bucks each bin, and people would call and be like, I never even thought about getting it clean, like, can you come tomorrow? I remember like the first day I did it, I made like $100, and like that $100 was good to me, but I never made that amount again in a day. I think it was just like the hype that I was just like a little kid starting a side hustle in my neighborhood. But I realized like home service businesses could definitely be something that was good. So I did bin cleaning for a little bit. I think I even tried to get into curb painting, but I just never even tried that. I had problem with the stencils, stuff like that. But yeah, I did bin cleaning for a little bit. I made a good amount of money. I learned some things about marketing, learned about branding, specifically for like service-based businesses. I learned some things when I was still young. And then I realized I wanted to do something more digital, and that's when I got into drop shipping. So back when I was doing drop shipping, I had no type of strategy or anything. I would just go on AliExpress, find any product that I would think would look cool, and just add it to my store. So literally no strategy. Just had a very non-niche store, just general. I think one time I did try to niche down. I would literally just sell like bootleg Travis Scott merch on my website, which I'm pretty sure was like illegal too. But I did get one sell. I started like a phone case store on Shopify. Obviously drop shipping. Actually, I think this was print on demand. I don't even think it was drop shipping. I just made like a quick design, and the only sale I got was literally my grandma. I'm so serious. My grandma was the only person who bought a case from me. She lived in Texas. I remember she bought a case. It shipped out to her. One time I visited her, she had the case on. I was like really happy. I was like, wow, you actually bought the case. And then yeah, nobody else bought it, so that was that. And then I moved on. The other business I actually started was very similar. It was eBay dropshipping, and surprisingly, I actually made a good amount. At this point in time, I was in 8th grade. It was right before I moved to another state, to North Carolina. The business model was actually very interesting. I was literally drop shipping from Walmart to eBay. So I'd find cheap TVs on Walmart. Some would be on sale, some would have deals, some would even be on sale at all. That would just be the normal price. I would take the images from the Walmart listing, then I would paste it on eBay. Same pictures, same everything. I would mark up the price on eBay like $200 more. And remember, I made a sale in the middle of class in 8th grade, and like I told one of my friends, and they're like, what the hell? Like, what is this business that you're doing? And I don't know, back then in 8th grade, that was just like shocking everybody. So I remember I did that, and I was making a pretty good amount. And then that's when I started getting into one of the most successful businesses I have started in my whole journey of entrepreneurship, and that is a digital marketing agency. So the first marketing agency, I don't even know what I named it. It was something like called JPJ Marketing or something. It was like me and my 3 friends, and we had no experience of marketing at all. I literally think I just watched one video about a marketing agency and then sent it to them, and was like, we should start this business now. It can make a lot of money. And obviously it can. I was not lying about that part. But we literally had no clue what we were doing. At the time, we were just selling websites to businesses, and we were literally using Wix. I think we'll just use, like, we'll make templates and just offer them to businesses. I don't even think we got any clients at all. I think we got a couple people interested, but then I realized we weren't even legit or professional at all. We're just like a bunch of random kids just starting a business. But I learned so much. I learned that you don't have to start a business with your friends right away. It's always better to learn the things on your own and go through it on your own first. We're targeting home service businesses. Like, we're targeting pressure washers, mobile detailers, soft washers, you know, any type of business like that. One thing I realized is we actually need to learn what the services that they're offering and able to market for them. How are we supposed to market for a business that we don't even know about? So that's when I stepped back from the marketing agency, and I realized I needed to lock in before I actually turn this into an agency. I realized I need to learn a lot more before I actually do this. So fast forward actually about a year. I think I had no businesses. I was just chilling for about a year, just like still learning, still consuming content, but wasn't actually making any active money. I had moved to North Carolina. It was my freshman year in high school. I just wanted to have fun. And then sophomore year hit, and then I realized like we really need to lock this in again and make some more money. So I started Mata Creatives, which is my agency now. My name is Patrick Mata. and my last name is Mata, obviously, so I named the agency Mata Creatives. And at that time it was kind of weird because obviously I was starting all of these businesses, but there was one thing that was still holding me back, and that was like showing my actual face or just myself and building my own personal brand. I was always hiding behind my agency logo, always hiding just behind the screen, always hiding behind emails, and not really showing my true self and who my clients are actually working with. And that's something that really took over my business. I feel like I was just scared to even show my face. On my website, I'm pretty sure I paid somebody to make a video because I was too scared to show myself. And I was getting clients. I was actually making money from the agency. I was only making around $800 for the agency, and I was really happy with that at the moment. I thought that was crazy to me. Clients paying me $200 a month for their website, and I was literally just making them like post in Canva for them to post on their social media. Very simple things. But then things started to get sloppy. I was getting lazy. I was getting distracted in school, in high school. I was making bad decisions, stuff like that. And the agency was going down. Bad communication with the clients. They were asking me for updates and I would take too long to respond, stuff like that. I just wasn't locked in, honestly. Then eventually 2 of those clients actually just completely ghosted me. I'm pretty sure they just disputed their card on my monthly subscription so they could stop paying me monthly. They didn't even like tell me they wanted to stop working with me. It was that bad. And so the agency died down, but I was not done like before after the dropshipping business. I did not just stop for a year. I remember I actually sat down and I was like, I'm making bad decisions. I'm not keeping my clients on a retainer. My clients aren't satisfied with my service. I actually need to lock in and see what I could do better, become more professional. I need to over deliver to my clients. I need to do a bunch of these things to make sure that our business is kept in place and make sure that we could actually grow. Now, this is where things took a turn for me personally and also business wise. I would literally stop going to any type of school event. Like, I think freshman year, I would go to a bunch of, I think even beginning of sophomore year too, I would go to a bunch of football games. I'd go to all the basketball games, stuff like that, any school event, just being really social. But then after that one experience with the marketing agency, I just stopped doing all of that. I was literally always at home, just always on my laptop, always working, see what I can be improving. Now, when you hear this, you're probably gonna think it's corny, like you're just trying to be different or something like that, but I honestly wasn't. Like, I was actually locked in and I was doing everything I could to improve this business and get back on our feet. I was really starting to change my whole mindset. One of my friends even told me that I was literally a ghost for a whole year, and during that whole year I was literally just locked in. Obviously I probably wasn't like locked in like what you think like on some winter arc timing, like going to the gym, but I'll just always be in my room, locked in my room, trying to figure out how we can make more money. And I was changing my whole mindset. I was thinking more like a founder of a business. I was realizing I need to focus more on the smaller things in the business. What systems do I have set up place? My onboarding process was horrible. I would tell them to just text me their business name and the stuff that they want on the websites. So I locked in with that. I learned about all the proper things that you need. So I learned about systems, I learned about sales, I learned about hiring people. First time I hired somebody for the agency was back then when virtual assistants were very popular. Now AI is taking over like employment in the digital marketing agency space. I hired a virtual assistant from the Philippines for like $5 an hour, and they only work like 3 days a week. Malkish, if you ever see this, you definitely helped me out a lot in this journey, so I appreciate you very much. But yeah, I had a virtual assistant, and at that time I had finally bought Go High Level, which was $97 a month, a way better alternative to Wix for making websites. Wix wasn't the best website to be making websites for your clients if you had a digital marketing agency, so I switched to Go High Level, which is pretty expensive. It was a big investment for me. Once I got Go High Level, that's when things started changing a lot. I was cold calling. I was ripping out like 500 calls a day. I had this whole spreadsheet just marking off each person I called, just calls after calls after calls after calls. And me and Malkish were just banging out the agency. We're actually starting to get more clients after those 2 other clients had ghosted me. We had a way better website that me and Malkish had set up. I started running Facebook ads with the profits, very simple Facebook ads, like if we don't get you 10 more pressure washing leads in a month, you don't pay. Just still images like that. And the agency was going good. I wasn't hiding behind the screen as much. I was hopping on sales calls, showing my face, talking, getting personal with the clients, asking them what they like to do day to day, just being more or less of a kid and being more mature, like an actual business owner, you know what I mean? So after running the ads, things just kept exploding and getting better and better. I hired another virtual assistant. We kept running more ads, we kept scaling, getting more clients. getting more profit, just keep reinvesting into the business. We finally hit one point where I was like, I can't just keep spending money on ads. I need to find a way to generate more leads for our agency organically. And so that's when I really locked in on content creation and creating like professional videos for different types of businesses. So that's what I did. That's when AI started getting very popular. And I remember AI coming out. I used ChatGPT like for the first time 3 years ago. First time was like for school, for my homework assignment. I started using it for business, and I was like, wow, this could really change a lot. So I asked ChatGPT, I was like, what can I do to stop hiding behind the screen? You know, I want to be able to make more money with my agency. I want to be able to, you know, go to dinner with these business owners, pay for the dinner, have a business meeting with them in person. I just want to stop doing that BS behind the screen agency. So it told me that I should start a videography business. That's not exactly what we're doing right now, but we're more of a creative agency. So after asking ChatGPT that, I said I should start recording actual content. And since you're there in person and you're actually spending time going out of your house, you're able to charge way more than just a website that you could outsource to someone in the Philippines. You're not going to outsource somebody $5 an hour to come fly a plane here and record your client for you. You're actually going to your client's location, wherever their job's at, if they have a brick and mortar location too. I was working with home service businesses, so we're going to these actual jobs and recording for them. I'll even put up some examples right here too. Yeah, so that's what I currently do now. It's been a very long journey, honestly. I've learned a lot. There's definitely some things I need to do now. At this point, I just want to be able to share value with you guys, give you guys some tips, and I'm going to be posting more content very soon, more about my agency and how you can start this business model. There's a bunch of good insights for young entrepreneurs who are trying to get into these bigger types of businesses, and not just reselling AirPods, not just mowing the lawn for your neighbor, but we're going to be talking about how you can actually scale a real business to at least 5 to 6 figures a month in 2025.